Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Monday, October 14th General Hospital spoilers recap shows that Portia Robinson visited Curtis Ashford's office and acknowledged tampering with Heather Weber's test results. Speaking about the subpoena for the records, Portia expressed her anxiety that if the truth were to surface, her career would end. When Curtis learned that Ava Jerome was aware of this, he became worried, but Portia reassured him that Ava would keep quiet because she wouldn't want to harm Trina Robinson. Curtis seemed nervous, even though he told Portia that the information would be kept a secret. Brad Cooper informed Terry Randolph at GH about the progress of his research into the lab results, stating he only wanted to confirm his work. While Terry saw Brad still had some work to do to win Portia over, he was optimistic that he could. Afterwards, Brad discreetly brought up Portia's visit to the lab that same day and his discovery of Heather's changed cobalt levels. Brad questioned whether Portia wanted him to disclose this to the higher-ups as part of his due diligence or to exercise his discretion when he asked what would get him a better review. Though Portia didn't think Brad needed to provide his thoughts on the outcomes, she did encourage him to turn over whatever was requested in the subpoena. Brad gave Portia a paper copy of the results when she promised to lobby for his full-time hiring, but he claimed to still have a digital copy. When Portia was left alone, she lost her temper and tore up the documents. Martin Gray stormed in and complained angrily about the police keeping the evidence hidden, so Dante Falconeri at the PCPD didn't need to alert Sonny Corinthos about the new evidence. After being compelled to acknowledge that a gun had been dropped off, Anna Devane concluded that it was the same weapon that Alexis Davis had disposed of. The ballistics report indicated that this was not the same gun that killed Agent John Jagger Cates, but Anna made it plain that the inquiry was still going on. At the courts, Molly Lansing Davis was also assisted by Dex Heller in retrieving some misplaced documents. It was during this encounter that he disclosed the new evidence in Alexis's case, piquing her curiosity. Elizabeth Baldwin and Rick Lansing were shown the found weapon by Harrison Chaseback at the police station, and Liz quickly acknowledged that it appeared to be the same weapon she had seen Alexis dump. At first, Rick pretended he wasn't sure, but Liz prodded him into admitting that it did seem to be the same rifle. He abandoned his plan to confess to Sonny, telling a falsehood that he was only trying to make sure Alexis wasn't being treated differently because of their relationship. When Diane Miller came and learned all the most recent information, she was relieved. Martin additionally submitted a motion for an expedited hearing, which was promptly approved. Christina Corinthos Davis was pushed by Alexis at Pentonville to quit blaming herself and acknowledge that Sonny was accountable for his own acts. When a guard arrived to inform her of the next hearing, Christina thought Sonny had really confessed. But when Christina and Michael Corinthos arrived in the courthouse, they were perplexed. Michael and Christina realized that the evidence had to be something different because Sonny was not in police custody. After spending some time alone with Diane, Sonny told her he didn't know who had turned in the gun to the PCPD. Terry discovered Elizabeth furious at Rick in the hospital locker room, but she had a sneaking suspicion that her true grievance was with Lucky Spencer. Liz acknowledged that she was concerned Lucky will disappear once more because it would be difficult on Aiden Weber. After that, Liz was at the nurse's desk when she announced that Lulu Spencer had a match over a computer notification. He called Rick back to Curtis's office and asked him to be truthful about what was going on with Heather's case. Rick conceded that the judge's decision might result in Heather's instant release. Anna said at the police station that it appeared as though Dante might briefly warn Sonny about the evidence. Dante acknowledged that the possibility of Rocco Falconeri losing Lulu made him consider it. Dante began to dread the thought of telling Rocco that Grandpa Sonny was also going to be permanently locked away. Anna expressed her compassion for Dante and thought that his decision to take a leave of absence was the appropriate one. Dante declared he would exchange his life for Lulu's as he thought about how much he would sacrifice for her. After learning about the recovered gun in the courtroom, the judge determined that there was insufficient evidence to pursue Alexis's case. Even after being given her freedom, Alexis thanked Sonny since she knew what he was about to do for her. Molly was happy that Alexis was released, but she couldn't be around Christina, so she stormed out of the courtroom and yelled to Michael. We'll share more guesses about how heated things will grow as Molly and Christina's animosity is expected to escalate, according to General Hospital spoilers. Elizabeth becomes frightened upon being called to the PCPD with Rick. When Chase sees them, he hands them the gun they won. Rick can't be positive, but Liz believes it appears to be the one Alexis was clutching. Elizabeth scowls and nudges him to acknowledge that it appears to be the gun Alexis was carrying. Then, Curtis calls Rick to discuss an urgent family issue. Diane shows up at the PCPD just as Anna is restating the necessity for additional gun investigation. Martin departs to submit a request to the judge in Alexis' case, and Sonny declines to make the statement he was ready to make. Molly receives a message when Dex asks her at the courthouse whether she feels better than when he saw her at the pub. She claims it's about the fresh evidence Dex was mentioning, looking hopeful. In the meantime, a security pulls Christina from Alexis's visitation at the jail in order to bring her to court. Christina believes Sonny has admitted. Later, wondering what's going on, Christina, Michael, and Sam cross paths in the courthouse corridor. As they walk inside the courtroom, Molly and Christina exchange a cold gaze. Returning to the hallway, Sonny informs Diane that he did not send the gun and does not know who did. Alexis is brought into court by a bailiff. Elizabeth is discovered by Terry in the hospital locker room. Terry questions whether Elizabeth's outburst regarding Rick is truly related to Lucky. Given that Lucky can no longer save Lulu, Elizabeth fears about Aiden, fearing that he will abandon her once more. Brad walks up to Portia at the hospital hub with a smug smile. He informs her that Heather's cobalt levels have drastically changed when she brings him to her office. She adds gently, trying not to show her nervousness, that her legal team, not him, should be concerned. He continues by saying that he found out the same day she used the lab computer. Dr. Robinson, should I worry about that? She questions why he is bringing this up to her, saying that testing failures occur frequently. Brad responds in a low voice that he simply wanted her to know how hard he's working and that he was able to identify such a stark difference. He therefore thinks that because he's back on a trial basis, she will have positive things to say if she is ever questioned about his job. If we're being really honest, there are a lot of occasions on General Hospital, especially in recent times, when it seems like Sonny has overreached himself. But something draws him back just as we begin to believe he is beyond saving. Consider shooting Agent Cates without warning. Though we didn't particularly enjoy this fixated Jagger persona, that seemed excessive at the time. However, Sonny ultimately made the decision to surrender himself up in order to save Alexis. Granted, he didn't actually need to as of yesterday. However, the idea is what matters, isn't it? But none of these was the character flaw Maurice Benard was experiencing. On Benard's State of Mind vlog, the actor recently welcomed Evan Hofer for the second time. During their brief conversation, they touched on Sonny and Dex's tumultuous relationship. Hofer remembered how afraid he was at the lowest points of their broken friendship. He said, "Are you good? When you walked up to me at that wedding, they said, 'Cut, it was amazing and wonderful and you were in it.' As we previously stated, you are not required to act when you are being attacked." "It was evil," Benard chimed in with a kind interjection. However, he felt essentially that way about Sonny's response to Dex. It was awful in every sense, but for the actor playing Sonny, there was one instance in particular where the Dawn went too far. Benard remarked, "I had a problem beating you up because you're not a bad guy. And Sonny's not, how far do you want to push that?" I know Sonny was off his medicine. To humiliate a kind man. "Whatever, I know you spied on me." Sonny is a charming mob boss who treads carefully. Because of his moral principles, he has endured this long, not just as a cast member, but also as a fan favorite. Furthermore, Benard felt that pounding the you-know-what out of Dex was going too far. But Hofer had a different perspective. "I'm not sure," he blurted out. "I could defend it for Sonny, in a sense, it's a crime of passion. I loved Sonny, to put it at least in Dex's words. I always hoped I had a father like Sonny, and I loved him like that. It was almost like a return to my juvenile state, thinking only of the love that was there, for all of that to happen, for me never swinging back at you or anything. That kind of behavior can only occur in highly emotional situations. You would say something like, 'Yeah, whatever, man, if you didn't care about me. Enjoy yourself while at the wedding.' That's reasonable enough. There are plenty of stories in the daytime about people who feel so deceived by the people they love that they seek out rather drastic retribution. However, things seldom get as graphic as what happened to Dex. Nevertheless, Sonny has persevered this far, and as Bernard said, his persona was not taking medication at the time. Despite the fact that it was severe, we believe this is just another instance that people will eventually overlook. However, perhaps Dex ought to discuss healthy love with a specialist at some point. Sonny, too? The next time, if you're not taking your medication, try taking a relaxing pill. Which match in the General Hospital preview for October 14th to 18th has the potential to save Lulu's life? See the teaser video and get the inside scoop by reading on. Martin confronts Anna at the PCPD station while Sonny and Dante watch, asking why he wasn't informed about her new evidence in the Kate's murder investigation. Given that the gun needed to clear Alexis come found unexpectedly, as Martin reached in time to prevent Dante from committing the greatest error of his career and urge his father not to confess to Kate's murder? You told me to leave Heather Weber's case alone, and I didn't, admits Portia to Curtis. There is obviously more to the story, and her spouse doesn't appear to be happy about it. Brad found that Portia had tampered with the results of Heather's cobalt test, which was performed at General Hospital after Liz urged him to investigate the strangeties surrounding the test last week. Oh my goodness, what will Brad do with this knowledge? Liz, with Terry by her side, gasps, "It's unbelievable," as she glances at the computer. We've located Lulu a match. Regretfully, the doctor's announcement that Lulu is crashing comes just as her body seems to be giving up, as Dante stands in her room's doorway. Since Alexa Havens has been chosen to take Lulu's place, we already know that this isn't the end for her. When the Quartermaine mansion door finally opens, Sasha says, "What are you doing here? At this late hour, who could be showing up at the Q's door? Is Sasha the one who can save Lulu? Or is it another person or something else? Don't inform that Gladys is returning." Carly and Lucas talked about Lulu's condition at the hospital. Lucas informed Carly that although Ethan wasn't a donor match, Holly had gotten in touch with him for testing. They soon ran into Ava, who thought Lucas was in town for a vacation and was shocked to see him. Lucas is the new trauma surgeon at General Hospital, Carly informed Ava. When Ava mentioned Julian, Carly yelled back that it was interesting that she would bring him up. Carly brought up the fact that Lulu was battling for her life because of Julian. Lucas requested to talk to Ava by himself. Lucas was curious as to why Ava had exposed Blaze. Ava claimed that she had not intended to, but rather had wished to criticize Natalia for her homophobia. It didn't help Ava in her custody dispute with Sonny, despite her expectation that it would. Ava reminded Lucas so much of Julian. Lucas was told by Ava that Julian adored him. Lucas stated his father was his deadliest enemy, even though he acknowledged that not all of his recollections of Julian were negative. Since no one had mentioned Julian in a positive light in a while, Ava requested Lucas to reminisce. As Lucas began to reminisce about Julian's marriage to Alexis, Ava broke off to voice her disapproval of the Julexis connection. Admire B&B, Days, General Hospital, or other soap operas? Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right now, click this link. Julian was informed by Ava that no one should be evaluated based just on their worst transgression. She expressed her desire for them to be nearer. Lucas consented to consider it. Ava hoped Lucas wasn't wealthy enough to discard his father's side of the family. Lucas promised that neither Avery nor her mother would be thrown away. Martin claimed to Alexis that he left the picture with a helper, but the PI conducted additional research. He clarified that he had verification of Brennan's room service order, which came with a bottle of champagne for two. Martin was certain that she would be freed before the end of the day, despite Alexis's lackluster belief. When Anna got to Robert's office, she dropped a file on his desk. She informed him that she had evidence proving Alexis wasn't guilty. Anna also mentioned the rifle that was left inside a parcel to Robert. She promised to bring Elizabeth and Rick in to positively identify it. Furthermore, the rifle was registered to Sonny and the lab had verified that it had traces from the same river. Robert and Anna both felt that Sonny was the murderer and that Alexis was most likely not Jagger's killer. If Sonny killed Kate's, according to Anna, the FBI would have to construct a case without the gun because they would never recover the weapon. Robert mentions Sonny's desire to speak with Anna. Christina had knowledge, according to Anna, but Michael prevented her from disclosing it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.